It's Monday. It's morning.
And it's the Valentine's Day episode of Monday Morning Macabre.
Happy Valentine's Day. I hope your carnations are ready. I hope you brought one for everyone in the class. Remember doing that in elementary school, Scones?
Oh, yeah. I choose you.
Yeah, exactly. The Simpsons.
You get a weird little chocolate. Yeah. And you'll have to give everybody one, but then if there's a leftover one, you give it to the girl you actually like.
Everyone had to bring in a card for everyone in the class, and it was like, ooh, do I really have to give one to Denise, you know?
I gave a little extra one to this girl I liked. Wow.
Ooh.
She moved away.
Crush alert.
Do I say her name?
That's probably why.
No, I'm not going to say her name.
Dude, call her out. Say her name, social
I'll call her
security
right
number.
now. Hold on. No, I don't.
Shut up, dude. Okay, call her.
Dude, like her Facebook picture.
It's funny that you gave her a Valentine's Day card and she fucking bailed.
She did. She moved away. She was like, Mom, Dad, this ain't gonna fly. He is the worst.
Scones gave me a Valentine's Day card. We gotta change this.
Scones chose me.
I think this means we're gonna get something burned into our lawn. I don't know. Welcome to Monday Morning Macabre, everybody. The show where we obviously talk about spooky stuff. You can get that off the context of what we've talked about thus far.
We're wicked scary.
We're super, super, super creepy spooky. And this week is no different, even though it's full of love and happiness.
I'm 27, but I still think I have time for a goth phase.
I agree.
I wholeheartedly agree.
I just turned 27.
Ooh.
Actually, that's something that happened in the interim between last week and this week. It was old Darce Cake's birthday.
It's the old Valentine's Day, Darce B-Day.
Oh, the blowout. The B-Day blowout. And Valentine's Day is my parents' anniversary.
Hey-o.
Hey, somebody
stop me.
Yeah, somebody stop me, for the love of God. I'm on a rampage. Yeah, it was my birthday. I had a lovely birthday party thrown by my daughter and wife. Just the three of us, and
so wholesome.
It was a great time.
So wholesome.
It was the most wholesome, and I think that being 27 now,
let's get into that.
Just
reflect.
So
how does it feel?
I can't imagine being older than 27. I'm so old.
Yeah, I turned 27 and I was like, I'm 30. This is 30.
And I'm just like, I might as well be dead, right? Every listener who's older than me. You guys get it.
I was in the emergency room last weekend. You want to know why, Darce?
Oh, because you had a
really bad acid reflux.
Ew.
This is 27.
What did you eat?
I drank beer and ate red sauce. My body was like, well, we're going to shut this shit down.
Yo, bro, we gotta, hold up. You gotta sleep.
Bro,
you gotta go to sleep.
You're 27. Right, unless you got a swim meet tomorrow, no more pasta dinners, baby.
And we're pretty sure you do not have one. That's crazy. Besides that, guys, I know you're here
it's
thinking,
usually pretty macabre.
Don't worry, because Scones is bringing us the macabre today.
Although, what's more macabre than existential crisis when aging?
True. I think we can all agree. That's pretty fucking spooky.
Today, we're going to be talking about the Burke and Hare murders.
The Birkenstocks murder?
The Birkenstocks murders. They killed all the people just outside Coachella.
No. Oh, no, dude.
All that was left was a Patagonia fleece.
The Birkin, what was it again? Now I can only think Birkenstocks, and I want to give this my full attention.
The Burke and Hare murders. Two people.
Burke and Hare. Okay, I see. Let's hear about it, baby.
Well, first, band, fucking lay down that stanky
band.
track.
I know we haven't been 100% on like, hey man, play some music or don't. But this week we
have a very contentious relationship with our band.
Yeah, they were upset when Scones ate all of their red sauce and alcohol.
Well, they shouldn't have left it out. There wasn't even a name on it.
That's what they're paid in. Just alcohol and red sauce, baby.
So I was tipped off to this subject by my sister Liz. She's a listener. Hi, Liz. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Liz, hi.
Hey, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Your brother went to the hospital for fucking bubbly guts.
Hi, Liz. Thanks.
Hope you're doing well. All right.
Bye. Yeah, and a lot of my family listens to this, and I don't know how okay I am with it.
I hate the fact that my parents can hear this. So, Mom and Dad, hey, I'm gonna buy a motorcycle and get a tattoo.
I have
let's just keep it going.
I have extended family, and COVID has prevented any family events. But man, the next one, they're gonna be like,
yeah,
so why did you say this weird stuff? I'm gonna be like, oh, bubbly guts. I don't know.
I don't remember what you're talking about. Get out of here.
Alrighty, so let's get into these moitas.
Moitas, baby.
Edinburgh, Scotland. How much do you know about Edinburgh, Scotland in the 19th century?
19th century, you still have castles there.
For sure.
Hannibal Buress shows up for the Edinburgh Comedy Festival every now and then, does a small mini documentary.
Bill Cosby.
Yep.
Google it.
The OG Bill Cosby ouster.
Google it.
Google it.
So Rudy. Edinburgh, Scotland was a hub at the time for medicine and research into anatomy and new surgical practices. So this meant that there was a demand for cadavers.
Cadavers. Love it. Love where this is headed. Only good stuff.
You gotta love cadavers.
Hey, if you've got a cadaver you don't need, we could use it down here in Edinburgh.
So, also in the 1800s is the conclusion of the Bloody Code, which was laws that had a lot of executions. Cool. So this also meant that there weren't as many bodies laying around.
Wait, there weren't as many, or there were? There
were not, because it's the end of the Bloody Code.
Oh, they repealed. I see. Yeah,
so the number of crimes punishable by death in Britain dropped dramatically.
Yeah, they were probably just like, hey, bro, you looked at me wrong. Off with your dome so we can use your body for science.
For sure. And we're in the historicuk.com, an article by Ben Johnson. Thanks, Ben Johnson.
Whoa. Ben Johnson, Green Ellis? I love that dude. He's such a good football player.
Wait, is that his real? No, it's Ben Jarvis Green. Okay. Good news in theory, but since medical and anatomical schools are only legally allowed in the UK at the time to dissect bodies of people who were from jail, died in war, condemned to death, and suicide. So this led to an extreme shortage, like I said, of dead bodies.
Love it.
However, since there was less, the financial compensation offered by medical schools was really high, which means that some unscrupulous types soon found a way around the shortage of bodies, leading to a rash of grave robbing by those known as resurrectionists.
That's fucking cool.
Which is my new indie band. You in?
I'm 100% in. Resurrectionists. Hey, we're going to be playing at a coffee house near you, and we'd really love your support because flannels are getting expensive.
These giant rims on my glasses don't pay for themselves.
Yeah, how do you think I got brown every item of clothes?
I only eat or drink artisanal shit. It has its toll. Instances of grave...
My insides.
They're bubbly. Instances of grave robbing became so commonplace that relatives were known to watch over the recently dug graves of their dearly departed, and watchtowers were installed in cemeteries across Scotland.
That's dope.
So there's just these, I can see a picture of one right now, just a fucking tower, like a castle, just to, look out for grave robbers.
Just to look for grave wobbers?
Get those grave wobbers.
Uh-oh, we got a grave wobber.
That's what they said. That's what the alarm sounded like.
Yeah.
To the police.
The greasy boys were there.
Scotland Yard, the grave wobbers.
Oh, the grave wobbers is Scotland Yard.
The fresher the body, the more money it was worth. Thus, it didn't take long before...
That's dope.
Yeah, that's also my new rap album.
The fresher the body, the more that it's worth.
Thus, it didn't take long before grave robbing graduated to anatomy murder. Murder committed with the sole intention of providing the remains for medical research and attracting a monetary reward. The most infamous of which were the Burke and Hare murders in Edinburgh, which occurred between 1827 and 1828.
Edinburgh.
Well,
now, here's the thing about Edinburgh.
Tell us about Edinburgh.
Guys.
Edinburgh, but...
It's spelled Edinburgh.
That's pronounced Edinburgh?
It's Edinburgh. Yeah.
I guess I did know that, but I was just reading at the time. Because I definitely have heard of Edinburgh.
Yeah, that's why I don't read, because it's usually
Scottish
not
people,
true.
You guys, come on.
But it is Edinburgh.
William Burke and William Hare both originated from the province of Ulster in the north of Ireland and moved to Scotland to work on the Union Canal. Burke having abandoned a wife and 2 children back in Ireland. The pair met and became close friends when Burke moved with his mistress Helen McDougall to lodgings in Tanner's Close in the Westport area of Edinburgh. Hare lived on the same street and was running a boarding house there with Margaret Laird, a widower with whom he lived as a man and wife, and who was...
He was the man and wife? He lived as a man and wife.
He could do it all, folks. Hare lived in the same street and was running a boarding house there with Margaret Laird, a widower with whom he lived as man and wife. And it was also known as Margaret Hare, even though they were not legally married. So Hare was just like, he abandoned his... Oh, no. He did not abandon his wife. He was just pretending. He was just playing house. You know how they are.
Hey, man. I love house, and he's Scottish.
And they moved to the same street, and they're like, oh, no way. You like killing people for money, too?
Oh, no, man. You grave robbing, too?
The pair's first foray into the world of medical science happened in December 1827, when one of Hare's tenants, an elderly army pensioner by the name of Old Donald, died of natural causes while still owing £4 in rent.
Old Donald.
To cover the man's outstanding debt, the pair weighed his coffin down with tanning bark prior to his funeral and took his body to the medical school at Edinburgh University, where they were swiftly pointed in the direction of Professor Robert Knox. He's like the who's who of anatomy lecturers and researchers.
Okay.
Knox paid the duo £7 and 10 shillings for Donald's body, which is a shit ton of money at the time.
Okay.
So that's like, if $4 in rent is like £7 and 10 shillings for that sweet, sweet body.
That's a nice body.
Encouraged by the ease with which they had made this money, the pair struck again in early 1828. When another tenant named Joseph became ill. Too impatient to see if Joseph would actually die from his afflictions, Burke and Hare took it upon themselves to help him along, plying him with whiskey and then suffocating him by covering his mouth and nose while he was forcibly restrained. This became their favored method of execution, as it left the body unmarked and undamaged for the students were later to dissect the cadavers. In the aftermath of their killing spree, the practice became known as burking.
Jesus.
Get burked, dude.
Get burked, bro.
In the absence of any...
Honestly, I'm going to start using that in every day.
Dude, get burked. In the absence of any further ill tenants, the pair decided to entice victims to the lodging house, preying on Edinburgh's poorest communities who were less likely to be missed or recognized.
Dude, that's a classic move of fucking assholes.
Yeah, serial killers everywhere.
Just prey on the poor and,
for sure,
disenfranchised.
In total, Burke and Hare are said to have murdered at least 16 people for between 7 to 10 pounds apiece, although the real total is likely to be a lot higher. A local prostitute, Janet Brown, was lucky to escape with her life when she and a friend, Mary Patterson, were invited to stay by Burke. Having excused herself earlier in the evening, Janet returned to find her friend missing. It was told Mary and Burke had stepped out. Having waited for her friend to return, Janet eventually decided to leave, having no idea that Mary was lying dead in the next room, to be taken to Knox. Yikes. And that she herself was the next victim.
That's spooky. Woo. That gives me the heebie-jeebies.
The jeebies, the heebie.
They're heebing my jeebs.
Burke and Hare soon became greedy, and no one was safe. An elderly grandmother was killed with an overdose of painkillers, and Hare murdered her blind young grandson by breaking the boy's back across his knee.
What? That's so fucked.
Hold on, let me read that again. An elderly grandmother was killed with an overdose of painkillers, so they got her.
Remix!
Dead. And Hare murdered... Yeah, I think they mixed up their pronouns here. Hare murdered... It says her blind young... I think Hare murdered her, okay. But I think it's supposed to be his blind young grandson by breaking the boy's back across his knee. So one of those needs to be the other.
Jesus.
Even unless he changed halfway through that sentence. Even a relative of Helen's, in McDougall, was unhesitatingly dispatched. However, with greed came carelessness. A number of Knox's...
The end.
Oh, God, my eye. All right.
Uh-oh.
It's just
Save him.
It just popped out. Don't worry. It's back in. A number of Knox's students were said to have recognized Mary and 2 other prostitutes murdered by the pair, Elizabeth Halden and her daughter, who made the unfortunate mistake of calling at the lodging house to inquire after her missing mother. The gossip was exacerbated when the pair brought in handicapped children's entertainer by the name of James Wilson, who was well known in the city as Daft Jamie. We're bringing in Daft Punk.
Daft Jamie? Dude, that's a sweet name for a band.
Do you think Daft Punk just ripped off Daft Jamie?
Probably.
Do you think Daft Punk is sweating as they listen to our podcast right now? They're like, ho, 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 oh no.
They're like, oh, our big house.
French robots will make good music. Knox was said to strong
steam a machine.
You pick of all their songs. You pick Steam Machine.
Yeah, their most famous popular song / album.
Knox was said to strongly deny the identity of the body, but swiftly removed his head and deformed foot during the dissection. Discovery. Following an argument between Burke and Hare, which was caused by Burke's suspicion that Hare and Margaret were cutting himself and Helen out of deals with Knox, Burke and Helen began to take in their own lodgers. So they're like, fuck you, we're going to start our own murder lodge with blackjack and hookers.
This is an insane story.
It sure is. This is like the Yoko Ono of the like breaking up the Beatles. It's
makes sense.
It's Burke and Helen breaking up Burke and Hare's murder emporium. On Halloween 1828, Burke and Hare's last victim, Marjorie Campbell Doherty, I'm assuming that's pronounced as, was invited to stay with Burke and Helen on the pretense that she was a distant relation of Burke's mother.
Okay.
Burke's other lodgers, a couple called James and Anne Gray, were invited to stay temporarily at Hare's boarding house that evening so the murder could take place. On their return to Burke's lodgings the following day, the Grays were told that Marjorie had been asked to leave because she had been flirtatious with Burke. The couple became suspicious when they were not allowed to enter the spare room where they had left some belongings, and when left alone, they discovered Marjorie's dead body hidden under the bed. The couple challenged Helen over their discovery, as she offered them a bribe of £10 a week if they would keep the discovery to themselves. The Grays refused and reported the murder to the police. However, in the meantime, word must have reached Burke and Hare, as by the time the police arrived at the premises, Marjorie's body had been removed and taken to Knox already. Burke and Helen, and later Hare and Margaret were all arrested and gave conflicting accounts of what had taken place, with Burke and Hare each blaming each other.
Okay, that's fine with me. I don't mind. They seem like really not great people.
Yeah, no. And also Knox, I feel like, should have some kind of guilt.
I think everyone in the story should fucking
infiltrate the dealer, find the supplier.
Wi-Fi.
The police's investigation soon led them to Knox, and James Gray identified the body found in his lecture hall as Marjorie. Having read about the murder in a local newspaper, Janet Brown later identified clothes found at Hare's lodging house as belonging to her missing friend Mary Patterson. However, the police had little hard evidence to prove the crimes had been committed, and eventually the Lord Advocate Sir William Ray, that's the whole name there, folks.
What?
Lord Advocate Sir William Ray.
That's sick.
Offered Hare immunity in return to testify against Burke and Helen, which he was more than happy to do. So this dude infiltrated the dealer. He found the supplier.
He found the supplier, dude.
And he turned them on each other.
You love to see
the oil of Olivier here, the expert play by Lord Advocate Sir William Ray, dude. The trial began on Christmas Eve of 1828. And early the following day, Burke and Helen were both charged with Marjorie Doherty's murder.
Marjorie Doherty.
Burke was also charged with the murder of Mary Patterson and James Wilson. While Helen's complicity in Marjorie's murder was deemed not proven under Scottish law and she was set free, Burke was sentenced to death by hanging.
That's a no good, very bad day for sure.
Yeah, Burke is DED. William Burke was hanged at Lawn Market in front of a boisterous, cheering crowd of over 25,000 people on the 28th of January, 1829. And fittingly, perhaps, after being put on public display, his body was donated to medical science.
That's hilarious.
The irony.
That's
also,
such
so many fucking
Twilight
people.
Zone.
Imagine like back in the day.
That's a lot of people. That's like 1% of our listenership, dude. That's crazy.
Dude, can you imagine like growing up in a world where instead of going to like, you know, a Sox game or something, you were like, oh, yo, did you hear? Berkey's getting fucking executed down in the square. Get your tickets now.
That is pretty wild.
That used to just happen all the time.
I mean, but at the same time, it's crazy to me that they just like the fact that they just like buy bodies off you, like no problem. There's no like regulatory. Yeah, there's no. You're like, it's in mint condition, baby. There's no regulatory thing.
She's still warm.
There's no FDA. Oh, Jesus Christ. They don't have any kind of anything to. Oh, it's so fucking weird, man.
Yeah, no tracking at all.
Yeah, what the fuck?
A number of anatomy students took ghoulish souvenirs of his skin, even using it to bind books. And dude, all right, Scotland, I need a word.
Yeah, excuse me, Scotty.
I guess I shouldn't take it on Scottish people. I am this podcast. I've had a real distrust in people in the medical field because it seems like all of the psychopaths and serial killers spend a little bit of time in med school.
A little bit.
And also, if you're binding your books with skin, like, that's Necronomicon. That's not, like...
Yeah,
that's nuts.
You're doing some crazy shit.
Burke's skeleton, to this day, is still on display at Surgeons Hall in Edinburgh, next to his death mask and the life mask of Hare's face.
Jesus Christ.
What's a life mask?
I think it's a mask that makes you happy that you're not made of human skin. I don't know.
Gives you plus 10 to spell abilities. Despite his obvious involvement in the murders, his accomplice Hare was released in February of 1829 and escaped across the border into England. No one knows definitively what happened to Hare, but it has been rumored that he was thrown into a lime quarry by an angry mob and lived out his days as a blind beggar in the streets of London.
What? What a wild turn of events.
I wonder if that was just a rumor. Some dude was like, you know what I bet happened to him?
Yeah. No, you know what I heard? Oh, that's Larry, the untruthful guy. What's up, Larry?
Oh, you wouldn't believe it.
The town untruther.
The whole crew just took him and just hucked him into a lime quarry.
Yeah, he threw him in a lime quarry. They're like, oh, great, Terror Bear. We love hearing from you, buddy. Keep it up.
Both Helen and Margaret also fled Edinburgh, with Helen said to have emigrated to Australia and Margaret to Ireland. And despite mass public outrage, Knox was also cleared of any involvement in the murders, as Burke claimed he had no idea where the bodies had come from.
It's fucking
He must have been a real dumbass if he had no idea that they were coming from fucking...
Hey, idiot
He wasn't just like, wow, there's a lot of murder. Like, a lot of people just dying of natural causes.
Gee willikers.
His reputation in ruins, Knox moved to London to try and salvage a career in medicine. The Burke and Hare murders followed swiftly afterwards by the 1831 murders committed by the London Burkers in Benthall Green. I don't know what that is. Led to the Anatomy Act.
Dude, we're the Monday Burkers.
Monday Morning Macabre, brought to you by London Burker and Benthall Green. But this
and Squarespace.
Are you tired of making websites, dude?
Tired of making websites? Trying to sell your body for some fucking cash?
Launch your dream today.
Yikes.
So these would lead to the... I can't even read this. This would lead to the Anatomy Act of 1832, which allowed doctors, anatomy lecturers, and medical students greater access to cadavers, and allowed for the legal donation of bodies to medical science, effectively calling an end to illegal body snatching trades.
That's a nice, that's good stuff.
Good stuff. See, sometimes it takes the most horrible things you can imagine.
To make the most beautiful,
songs.
Things.
Oh, let's look up, what's this life mask?
Yeah, give it a googs. Give it a Google.
Death masks and life masks. Death masks are casts taken from the cadaver, while life masks are casts taken from a living person. I feel dumb.
That's way more on the nose than I thought it'd be. Excuse me, sir. I feel dumb.
Excuse me.
I feel real dumb right now.
So I'm still pissed. Well, I guess Knox's reputation was ruined, but still. I still feel like he should have gone to face prison time.
Or they repeal the fucking execution shit and just eat his dome ski into the basket.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of Daft Jamie coming up.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, no way, dude. He looks cuter in the picture.
What's going out of his pant leg?
Yeah, he does look like he just got back from becoming a werewolf. He I know this is good for
great tent, great audio tent.
Great tent. That's what we always say.
So yeah, if you ever see a little castle, like a little tower in there's actually one in New England. I've seen it. A castle in, like a little tower castle in an old graveyard, and it's definitely, now that I read this, to watch out for grave robbers.
What? Where did you see this?
I don't know. I need to go find it.
Find it, because Daddy will like it.
Well, that's it, folks.
I've got a Saturday planned, baby.
The Valentine's Day episode.
Hope you had a great time.
And if not, well, actually, it's Galentine's Day right now.
Oh, shoot.
So I might go grab a margarita or two.
Margie's on Scony.
Margie's on Scony. If you're a gal out there and sick of the heteronormative customs, let's go grab a marg.
Let's go grab some Margies together.
Let's go grab some Margies.
Scony's been looking for your margs, dude. Guys, don't sell cadavers, I think, is a good Valentine's Day lesson.
But do like and subscribe.
Subscribe, and rate. And
comment, for sure.
If you, comment, like, reach out. We appreciate people hitting us with those tweet skis.
As always, you can join our Patreon members. You know who you are. You're the all-stars. The best of the best.
You know who you are. Hey, you want the bonus contents? Today's episode, we're talking about the new Dyatlov news that just popped off.
It did just pop off.
Because
when it pops
we get into some detail there. Follow us on our socials. Macabre Pod on Twitter, MondayMorningMacabre.com, and Monday Morning Macabre on Instagram. And you get all the links you need. And, hey, feel free to have a good Monday if you want now, or not. Or if you want to take a walk and just kind of think, you can do that too.
Get existential about it.
Yeah, I think have a good Monday.
Have a good Monday. Bye.
Bye.